What's up YouTube, it's the Dual Factor once again with another video. This time it's going to be my deck profile of my Nats deck list that I decided to play. Quick story, I wasn't able to stay both days of the event because of my buddy being married on a Sunday. So I did not play any zoo cards in my deck. I actually lent them out to people who could actually stay for the entire event. So instead I decided, and I'm also sick and tired of playing zoo to be perfectly honest, so I decided to play the new Magician deck, pure with no zoo cards or anything like that. I honestly think the deck runs better without the zoo cards anyway. That being said, I only played a couple rounds of the event and I played a couple side events. I really liked how the deck run, and to be perfectly honest, for a pure Magician deck, I honestly thought I had the best build in the room. That being said, there will be some changes I would make to the deck, but I wanted to show you guys what I played because I know some people were kind of interested to see my list. So enough about that, let's get into the deck profile. So I played 3 Skullcrabat. It searches everything in your deck, more or less, all your Magicians and your Odd Eyes cards if you need to search them with Skullcrabat Joker. And I thought it's just like, if you have 3 Stratos, you should play 3 Stratos, so there's that. I did play 2 of the Astrograph. I did play the Zark build because I was more or less playing this for fun, and I think Zark's a really good card. Astrograph is a broken card. However, to me, it's not what I envision in a 3 of in a deck, and I don't want to have 2 to 3 in my opening hand, especially when it's searchable through Time Star, so I went ahead and just played the 2. Plus, there's also a combo that you need in the deck that requires 2 of it, so that's why we went ahead and I thought this was a solid number for this card. Same theory with the Harmonizing Magician. I think it's one of the best Magicians in the deck. However, its effect is a hard once per turn, and you don't want 2 to 3 in an opening hand. So, that being said, I only played 2 of it, and you can add it back off Oath Dragon. And it's not what I envision in a 3 of, so 2 of that. 3 double Iris Magician. It's an engine starter. It can destroy itself to add any Pendulum graph from your deck with its Pendulum effect. It's an 8 scale. It's searchable through Duelist Alliance too, which is another key thing for playing 3. Plus it counts as a Pendulum Dragon, so it can be searched off Duelist Alliance. So we played 3 of that, mainly because it gets you the time Pendulum graph. That's key in this deck. 2 purple Poison. It pops any face-up card on the field. It's a low scale. But you don't want to see multiples of it in hand, so that's why we only play the 1. Not the 1, I mean, we only play the 2. So there's that. And then I only played 1 Black Fang and then 1 White Wing. These cards, I honestly think these cards are terrible. His Pendulum effect's okay, this one, not so much. But you play it just so you can, you play these 2 basically so you can just summon Zark in the deck. And then we played 3 Wisdom Mind Magician. This is the best Magician. It becomes any one of them in the scale. And when you have 2 of them in hand, it's just like the best feeling. So obviously we're gonna play 3 of it. We were always searching it off Pen Call too, because the following turn, since I can't destroy your scales, you can literally just pop it off and be able whatever scale you want, and it also gets a double Iris like all of them. So yeah, obvious 3 of. And then the 1 Oath Dragon. You don't want more than 1. Like I said, it can be searched off Wisdom Eye, it can be searched off Skullcrabat. A ton of cards in your deck, honestly. And then it adds back Harmonizing, so that's the big key point. And then I am playing the Odd Eyes build. So I'm playing 1 high scale Mirage, 1 low scale, and Persona. You want something to be able to search off Sky Iris, and being able to search either a high scale or a low scale is really, really important to the deck. So play 1 of each so they don't clog. I did play 2 Archfiend Eccentrics. I don't know if it was correct to play this, however, it is a high scale. And it is one of the better Pendulum cards we have access to. And it can bait out cards such as Solemn Strike, or you can make your opponent prematurely flip Barrier so you can play your turns differently if the need arises. So there's that. And then 1 Luster. It's at 1. This card honestly isn't that fantastic, but because it has such a powerful going first effect, and it's searchable through Duelist Alliance, you kind of want to play it. Plus you can summon it off Ignister too. That's a key thing. And then I played 4 Hand Traps this weekend in the main deck. I played 3 Ghost Ogre. People were saying this card wasn't very good because of My Body as a Shield and Shuffle Reborn. But at the same time, I didn't want to give my opponents a free pass for them to resolve their cards because I didn't have this card. Plus, there's a lot of times, like against Pure Zoo, if you Ghost Ogre the Barrage, they don't have a follow-up play. especially going first. So, that being said, I thought it justified playing 3. Also, another thing to note is any level 4 in my deck plus this make Black Rose, and Black Rose going second is really good. So, I thought it warranted the spot in the main deck. And then the 1 Maxi, the God card of the format. On to the spells. 3 Duelist Alliance. All you need is a Pendulum skill to have this, and it searches. Your double Iris Magician, because it's always treated as a Pendulum Dragon. Your Luster Pendulum. Your Pendulum Call. Like, the card's busted. Speaking of, I do play 3 Pendulum Call in the deck. A lot of people only play 2 to 1. But because I think this card is so important going second, because you're not going to win every dice roll, and Tornado Dragon and Dryden are really hard to deal with, and these basically give you a way to play around these cards, I feel like it's necessary to play 3. Granted, if your opponent resolves Ash against this card, you're probably going to lose that game, but it's a risk you have to take. So, there's that. 2 Sky Iris. This is also really good against Zoo because it makes Tornado Dragon and Dryden useless against your scales because they can't target them, so they have to target this. Plus, it gives you a way to have searchable scales and a searchable Shaddoll Fusion, so I feel like you need to play it. And then to complement the 2 Sky Iris, you play the 2 Terraforming because you want to get to the first copy, but you don't want to see the second. So just this is a way to take the second out of your deck, more or less. 1 Odd Eyes Fusion. Shaddoll Fusion was a powerful card, and then anytime I resolve this and summon Vortex Dragon, it either swung the game back in my favor or I won the game because Vortex is that powerful a card against these decks. 1-star Pendulum Graph. It's searchable off double Iris, and then if you open this in Wisdom Eye, it gives you so much advantage it's unfair. And then 1-time Pendulum Graph. It's what keeps you in the game. It's your Scrap Dragon. Plus, if it doesn't destroy 2 cards, it sends another card without targeting to the graveyard. So being able to search this and start Pendulum Graph in the same term is really broken. And that was the main deck. It was 40. On to my extra deck. The 2 tokens I always play. And then 1 Vortex Dragon. Anytime I summon this off Odd Eyes Fusion, I won the game. Just straight up. It's a Solemn Judgment, more or less. It bounces face-up attack position monsters because a lot of people are putting Dryden in attack mode because they're searching Whiptail, so this punishes them for doing that. Plus, it makes your opponent play differently, and it's like it's 3,000 defense, so it makes them play awkwardly. The 1 Supreme Green Dragon Zark. I did actually summon this a couple times. You can summon it almost every turn, too, in this deck because of Time Star Magician. Or is it Time Gazer? Yeah, it's Time... No, it's Time Star. I had it right the first time. But, I was also playing this deck for fun, so I wanted to play this card. And this is like... This card's a blowout. Like, most decks can't deal with it. That's it for the fusions. On to the synchros. I played 1 Black Rose. This plus any level 4 in your deck plus Ghost Ogre makes this. And it baits out my bodies as a shield and whatnot. So I decided it was worth playing. Plus, if this resolve, it should be an auto win, honestly. Stardust. It's really powerful against Zodiac. It's also really powerful against my body as a shield. It's powerful against Dryden in general. It's powerful against Tornado Dragon, keeping your scales up. Like, it's such a good level 8 synchro. Scarlet Dragon, I would probably switch this out because of the prevalence of my body as a shield, but like, decks that can make level 8 synchros and have access to this card, it steals so many games. Ignister because you're playing Pendulums, and Beals because True Draco does not have an out to this. Like, they just can't out this card, so if you summon it, it's an auto win. For the XYZ's Trapeze Magician, because you use it for OTKs in this deck and everything's a spellcaster. You play the 1 Dweller because it's an auto win against True Dracos, it's an auto win against Dinosaurs, it's auto against Yang Zing Dinosaurs, anything that's pretty much not Zoo, it's an auto win against. Crab King, because it is an out to Masterpiece. If you don't have the Joker and Purple Poison out, this is a makeable one. 2 Time Star, easily the best XYZ in my deck. It searches any Dark Spellcaster, Soul Skullcrabat, or Astrograph, or any of the Pendulum Magicians that's not White Wing. So this card's really broken. Plus, it keeps your scales alive by dumping them. This is literally what allows you to summon Zark turn 2. Tornado Dragon, I think it's the best generic rank 4. I didn't play Emerald in this deck at all. I didn't see a point to. 1 Absolute Dragon. There's a combo with Astrograph. If you open Astrograph and a Joker, you can end with this, which floats you out into the Vortex, which is a powerful play, especially if they have the board wipes. And then the last card in my extra deck was 1 Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. It was literally just an engine requirement for Vortex, so I can fuse for free without having to have cards in my extra deck. That's that. And then my side, I played 3 Ash Blossom. I didn't think this card was good against Pure Zoo at all whatsoever. Like, I didn't want to play it. I didn't want to see it or anything like that. But against the True Draco deck and anything Rogue, I thought this card was phenomenal. So I decided to put this aside in case I did see any of those decks. 2 Gamma Seal if I was forced to go second, and dealing with some boss monsters is really hard, so I wanted to make it easier on myself. Plus, I don't play board wipes because I don't think they're very good. 3 Cosmic Cyclone, mainly for going second and then playing against True Draco. Enough to say about that. And then my favorite side deck card, and possibly the best one on my side, was the 3 Typhoons. More or less, you 100% lose to Anti-Spell going first if you don't have an out to it. And I wanted a card that couldn't be stopped by Magic Deflector, and I wanted a card that couldn't be stopped by Anti-Spell, so I decided Typhoon was the best of those choices. And it worked out really well. Like, a lot of my opponents would open like Tenki or Barrage or both if they were sacking me, and then they also have Anti-Spell, but they'd have 2 cards set so I can activate this straight from my hand. And then once I hit the Anti-Spell, I was free to make my plays, and then they were forced to use their Trident, and they were forced to use their Tornado Dragon prematurely. So it served its purpose. It let me play the game, and I wouldn't have changed it. And then I play 3 copies of Solemn Strike, and then I was also playing Warding. So, to be 100% perfectly honest, I do think Barrier is a better card against Pure Zoo. In general use that covers all the decks, I think Solemn's a better card. So I chose this over Barrier, plus I let my buddies also borrow my Barrier, so that was another reason for me playing this engine. But going first, I just think this is a stronger card, plus you can't react to it either. Like, it's a counter trap. Like, sure, if you only have one and then they have the back row removal, fine, whatever, it can't be changed. But I just thought it was a better card in general. But that was my Nats profile for this year. Always remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.